Right. Oh, when I was a young boy of 2, my dad says, here's what I want you to do. You must always follow the county and fight for the boys in the blue. I'll try for the boys in the blue. And I'll fight for the boys in the blue. And if anyone should ask me to surrender, we'll die for the boys in the blue. Right.
Somebody in the way, battling, having got in way of the attempted clearance. Jim Gannon. Oh, great flick on by Alan Armstrong.
This against Bradford, but here's Warburton!
Yes!
Oh! And they're trying to manufacture the shot, gets it away, yeah!
Not got it clear. Please, sir! It's a cracker!
Running Armstrong, played in the game, and a superb goal!
Tony did it! Stockport County are the champions of League Two.
Good evening and welcome to another episode of the Scarpa War with me, Russ Johnson. I'm joined as ever by Waggy Wagster. You all right, mate?
I'm fine, thank you very much.
Good. It's only taken
Still feeling top of the league.
Top of the league. It's only taken bloody 14 years, hasn't it, to get back into League One, and it's bloody Peter piss, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. What's all the fuss about? Our best start since 1978, isn't it? 3 wins, 3 clean sheets. So
is that right?
Yeah. Yes. Apparently so. That's as good as my facts get.
Is it?
Yeah.
You're not bringing any more facts then? Oh, bloody hell.
No, God, no. That would mean research, wouldn't it?
Hey, yeah, good. 3 wins out of 3. We're going to talk about all that tonight. We're going to talk about being top of the league. We've got opposition fan guest, well, behind enemy lines, as every other podcast calls it, with the famous Clive from Mansfield Matters. We all love Clive. We've got him back on. We're delighted that he's joined us back on again. He's we got loads of good feedback last time about Clive. Last few times he'd been on, so delighted to have him back on. We are going to talk about Bristol Rovers on Saturday, what seemingly was a routine 2-0 win. Going to have a bit of an away day guy getting resident, and we've got our fan guest as well, who is debut on this show on the Wednesday. Well, debut on as a guest.
Officially his debut.
Yeah,
because being pissed up in Spain doesn't count. Because you weren't even on that show.
I was.
No, because you were pissed up in Spain, so you're not.
Oh yeah, because I was. Yeah, because I was going to say I was on with Dave. What are you talking about? That's what I was going to say. Right. Well, without further ado, let's get Dave out, and we can ask him the obligatory questions. Then we'll speak to Clive, and then we'll continue the conversation.
Please, sir! It's a cracker! Stephen Gleeson! What a beauty!
Hello, Dave.
Evening.
Hello, Dave.
You okay?
Yeah, not bad. It's a bit weird because you don't feel like a proper fan guest. You feel like because I've known you for a bit now, and we've been to Spain together, and we've shared lots of moments with beer in that.
Do your wives know
good
about
ones
this?
too. Yeah.
Do your wives know about this?
Yeah. Well, they're about to.
Is there something you want to share? Is there something you want to share on this?
Before we ask you the obligatory question, just say hello to everybody that's joined us online and everybody that does listen to us on Spotify, iTunes, and whatever podcast player you listen to us on. Thank you very much for doing that. If you could rate and review us, that'd be great. Just help us with the ratings. Everybody's joined us, and even Daniel Culverwell, Dan from Courtyard Club Call of this parish, all the way from Norway this evening. So we did Spain. Sat on a boat
with a rum and coke, I think.
Yeah. He says the drinks package is getting abused, which, it'd be rude not to, wouldn't it? If you're doing that. We will get Clive out very, very shortly. But Dave, What can you remember your first match?
Well, I'm sure it was earlier than the one I can actually remember, because I'm sure that my uncle used to take me when I was quite little. But the one that I kind of remember being at was 91-92 season, Preston North End at home when we won 2-0. I've kind of had to sit there and work that out for a very long time as well. But interesting fact, that year obviously we ended up at Wembley, and I've been to every single Wembley sort of game that we've had, and the only one that I didn't attend was the only one we've won. So
well, there we go.
Make of that what you want.
Yeah. So I'll buy you a ticket to sit in Edge Park and watch it.
Just stay at home. Stay at home if it happens again. Yeah.
We've got a comment already in. All New Gamer says, "How's David Whitehead doing? Love from your son."
No, that's
it.
right. If it's anything
review.
to do with him, just ignore him. Just completely ignore him.
If we start eating a pie somewhere.
Oh,
Yeah,
no,
eating a pie somewhere.
Spinning top to watch his mate's band or something or whatever. His dad, I don't know. He comes and goes as he pleases now, doesn't he?
Favorite goal?
Well, I'm going to say the one that I actually saw that I just thought was unbelievable. And there's loads of goals that I've seen that have been great, but I just think that Louis Barry's Cambridge goal was just for his first touch, and it was just like, wow, what a finish that was. And since then, he's done 2 more as well. So, but I think, there's been a lot of them, but I think that one's just unbelievable. His touch, even though it was his first one, and just his awareness and everything for that goal was ridiculous.
Fair dues.
So that one.
Fair dues. Favorite player? You can have one from the past, one from the present, if you want.
So one for the past got to be Big Kev.
Yeah.
He used to live in Reddish, up near where we used to live as well. Used to see him going walking his dogs most days when I was being a little tearaway, still at school and stuff. Suppose recent one over the last few years, it's got to probably be Paddy. It's just his work ethic and everything about him was just top draw, wasn't it, really?
Yeah.
So yeah, pretty much him.
Yeah, good choices. Yeah, Paddy on and off the pitch, I think he's
he's just the way that he sort of brings the best out of everybody as well, and everything that he just demanded while he was on the pitch was just unreal.
Yeah. Saying about that, do you think that Norwood is now that person? Did you hear that?
Well,
did you hear his interview about Barry?
Yeah. He was like, he's I'm gonna demand so much from him, and I love that. I really do. And do you know what? I hope he gets everything he possibly can out of him as well.
Yeah.
Because it'll only benefit us.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that can't be a bad thing, can it?
No, not at all. We'll cover Norwood later. Norwood masterclass.
Absolutely.
And then final question: favorite game that you've been to? County game.
I think significance of it all and getting us back has got to be the Halifax one when we won and got back to the league. So yeah, probably that one. Just the significance of it and everything that surrounded that game. It just meant so much to so many people, didn't it, really?
Yeah. Yeah, fair enough. Good stuff. So stick around, join in the chat. We're going to get Clive out next to talk everything about Mansfield on Saturday and their start and where they're at. Obviously joined us up from League 2 last season, and it's Clive from Mansfield Matters.
Running Armstrong, played in the game, and a superb goal, and it's Connery who scored it.
Oh, we'll die for the boys in the blue. What a cracking song. Can we borrow it?
You can if you want.
Is he in fancy dress? Oh, there he is.
You have to change the words to yellow, won't you?
No, we'll change our shirts.
Oh, right, yeah, do that then. Yeah, do that.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, Clive. How are we?
I'm tickety-boo, thank you.
Good.
A bit envious of your position at the moment.
Well,
I've
you're
been
not
for the
too...
last couple of years, haven't you?
Well, as long as I just want to remind you, there was a fulcrum point last season when we beat you at your ground 2-0, and after that, you never looked back. So I think we are responsible for your success.
Oh, okay.
All of it.
You didn't know at the time, but we pulled your trigger. Oh, missus.
Yeah, well, yeah. Sometimes, well, I think we pulled Wrexham's, didn't we? Apparently, who were misses. That was what they were saying on their documentary when we were beating 5-0.
That's the only sadness I have from last season is that I was perfectly happy to get promoted in third place. At the start of the season, I'd have bitten your hand off for that. But I hated the fact that Wrexham was above us because they're just a bunch of shysters. But there you go.
You're not a fan. You're not a fan.
Oh, whatever the antithesis of fan is, that's what I am where Wrexham is concerned. And it's not. It's very, very unfair because I actually spoke to some of their fans, and they were fine. I think some of their players are great. A couple of the ex-Stags they've got are monsters. But I just think the whole hullabaloo around the club, it's just unhealthy. Unhealthy for everybody else. It's fine for them.
Yeah, the Hollywood thing. Let's talk about Mansfield then. So you're not we've won 3 out of 3. You're not too far behind, are you? I think you've won 2.
Well, we won at Barnsley on the first game, which was a good win. Then we managed to contrive a 3-3 draw against a team we should have beat off the park on our first home game, and that was Burton. Our hitherto best player had a real mare. That's Flint. And we had to rely on a fairly dubious penalty right at the end in injury time to get the point we ended up with. And then, of course, Saturday, we just capitulated to a fairly average Lincoln side. Our goalkeeper decided he didn't want to be a goalkeeper on that day. And we have 1 or 2 players who just weren't performing for whatever reason. And the rest of the players are all injured.
And this Saturday too.
Sorry?
I said, hopefully your keeper does that again this Saturday too.
Oh, you've got the easiest game of the season on Saturday.
Have you
Seriously, we've got players who are injured.
We've seen our record against you.
Yeah, but you know what you don't understand is at Mansfield Town, when a player has a bit of a knock or has a head cold or something, it's automatically 4 to 6 weeks out. In my day, unless your leg actually came off, you played on.
Yeah.
And we've got a coaching squad as big as any Premiership side. Honestly, we've got more coaches than we've got players. We've got good facilities at our training ground, which are the envy of a lot of teams at our level. And we train our players to death. So they end up being knackered by training. Now, back in my day, you had a woodbine and a pint of beer before you came on, and you played out your skin. And the other thing was, we didn't have dragoons of coaches, fitness coaches, goalkeeping coaches, statisticians, people who designed what you had to eat. You had a manager with a flat cap and a bloke with a bucket. And that was the entire coaching staff. We had 17 players for the whole season. I don't understand where the game's gone. I might get too old
modern
for
football then.
No. I'm at a loss. And don't even get me on all-seater stadium because that's a nonsense.
The safe standing's coming though, isn't it?
The safe standing is even bigger nonsense because all you do then is pay twice as much to fit a safe standing seat in, which the seat's never going to get used because the reason you put it in is for standing purposes. And so the payback for a small club on putting safe standing in is far more than putting seats in. It's crackers, absolute crackers. And then if you look at the bigger clubs who have enormous resources, they have to have all-seater stadia. And what do people do throughout the game? Stand up. And what happens if you have a surge when you're standing in seats? Everybody breaks their tibs and fibs. It's gone, you know. Barriers are the solution. And good urinals. That's what we need.
Let's talk about Saturday. Well, no, not just Saturday, but your season is what's your realistic expectation for this season then? Where do you think you'll finish, or where do you want to finish?
I think this is a very much a Star Trek thing. We're going to cling on this season, and it's we have very modest expectations. I think that's because it's safe to be unambitious in your first season promoted. And if we were in your position now with 3 wins and no goals conceded, of course, everybody be expecting us to win the league. So I don't have a problem with us losing a couple in the early days. It just calms everybody down. Plus, we've just introduced a new point system for away games, because the clamour for away tickets exceeds supply, and the old system of letting the season tickets have the first pick and then the supporters club have the second pick, and then it eventually went to anybody else. But when we play people like Wrexham and yourself and Lincoln and Burton, who've got relatively small away provision, we've just got too much demand, and the point system has been introduced, and it's a right nonsense at the moment because it doesn't seem to reward the right people, and so the fans are getting really shitty about it at the moment. Sorry, getting pretty upset about it at the moment, and it's distracting them away from the poor performance on the pitch. So it's doing its job at the moment. They've got something else to moan about. And just a quickie, our owners have thrown an invitational out on Friday. We're all going to meet them. It's by ticket. 400 fans are going to meet them in the club marquee, and I can only imagine some of the awful questions that are going to be asked of them. And they've done an open mic session, which is a really dangerous thing to do. I just think we're a club with mixed emotions at the moment, but I'd be perfectly happy to finish 4 off the bottom this season.
So just quickly explain the loyalty scheme then, because there's a clamour for us as well. We're apparently introducing a loyalty system from next season, I think was what was said
next season, because we changed our tickets.
Well, I think the problem is that not many clubs have got the expertise to design something like that. They have to rely on their ticketing contractor. And we have a ticketing contractor called KZN, and they're okay. They've improved the ticketing system now that you can get them online in a much more fluid way than before. And every fan has a season ticket. Every season ticket holder has an account, and you can book your own tickets and other people on your account if they are also season tickets. So it works quite well. But there isn't the history. They haven't been able to backfill from the previous 3 seasons all the data that they would need to make a very fair system going forward in the early days. So everybody started this season with 3 points, and of course, anybody that was not a principal on a season ticket, like might take your lad with you, for instance. He's invisible as far as the system's concerned, so he doesn't get any points. So when he and his dad want to go to watch Mansfield at Lincoln, dad can get a ticket, the lad can't. So it's causing all sorts of fuss and bother, and it really is a situation that has probably been exaggerated too much, because there's only going to be half a dozen hot venues this year where demand is going to be outstripping supply, either because they've got small grounds or because it's local to us. There are going to be the Wiggins where you can have as much space as you like, and some of the bigger clubs have got plenty of accommodation. And if we have an average season, all these new fans of ours have never missed a game in 40 years. All these new fans will evaporate. So it's a matter of just let it tick over for a while and let's see what happens. But I'll report back next year and tell you how it's gone on.
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah. Do you have a battle? I know we'll talk about the football in a second, but do you have a battle with the fan base of this new fans coming in? And I was at Lowestoft away in 2015. I know you didn't go down that far, but do you have that battle between the fan base as well?
I think that there are people that feel more entitled than others, and then of course the success we've had, relative success we've had in the last 3 seasons, has built our season ticket base up from less than 2,000 to over 6,000. So it is a problem that's a good problem to have, but we have a ground which is completely inadequate for our own needs. We're committed to giving an away end. So when you guys come, you'll have 1,700 seats paid to you, which is more than you give us, by the way. But it does mean we can't accommodate more than about 6,800 home fans. So you take the season ticket holders out of there, and every game now is all ticket. And then when you get there and you've been denied a ticket, or someone's been denied a ticket, they watch it on television and see empty seats because some season ticket holders haven't turned up, which is, this time of year happens. The club ought to be cleverer than that. You ought to be able to offer out those unused season tickets to people that are desperately trying to get a ticket. Social media is full of people begging for tickets at the moment.
Yeah.
Interesting. There's a woman in Penang always has 4 to sell.
Have they opened up the closed side yet?
No,
they were
they're
doing
starting
something.
to work on it. It's not going to be. It's not going to have any real effect this season. It's been derelict and locked down for a long time. Interestingly, it was closed because of fire risk, and now they've reopened it. Apparently, there is no fire risk, but we have to do some work in there before we can put people in there because there's no toilets and the access is not good, and people insist on having a burger when they go to a football match. So there are some infrastructural jobs that need to be done, but the work started. I'm hoping we might by the middle of the season have 1,000 extra seats, which will make a big difference on a small ground. But there are plans over a 3-year period to make it something a bit more interesting. They're going to put an extra tier on it and put some hospitality in there. So, but we'll see. I mean, a lot will depend if we survive this season, I guess.
Yeah.
But you've got a bit of something we haven't got. You've got a big amount of space behind your open end. That's been developed, isn't it?
It's full of newts as well, though.
Newts? Is that a Salford supporter? Fucking newts. Listen, I'm a councillor on the local council, and I'm a chair of the council, and we have a problem with bats. Fucking bats. I don't know. Life's upside down, isn't it? You put bats before people, but there you go.
Yeah.
So I digress. Carry on.
Yes. Well, let's talk about Saturday. Who are we looking out for then? Obviously, we know you've got Flynn, you've got Keeler Dunn, who I think might be on his way somewhere. Have you brought anybody in that we need to be wary of? That maybe.
Yeah, but they're instantly. Yes, we have got some new players, but they're all instantly injured, so you won't see many of them. We have a guy that's come from Swindon as a defender. He's looking good. Fraser Blake Tracy. I think he's had a bit of a knock, so he might not play on Saturday. And as you mentioned, we like people with 3 names. You know, Davies, Keeler Dunn, DKD to us. He's our star player, but this season he's not done anything because I think his head's been messed with by all this talk of a transfer. If the rumours are right, we've been offered 800k for it by Barnsley, and the club's saying no, it's got to be £1 million, or else we're not playing, which is their privilege. Guy's under contract, but you know that lad's got this buzzing around in his head. He'll have his agent kicking him as well, telling him how much money he's not getting by not pushing for this transfer, and he's looked hopeless. He may as well not have been on the park at Lincoln on Saturday, bless him. I love him to death, but I can see in him he looks like a tortured soul. But we haven't got any real choices at the moment because of the injury situation. So I think he'll play on Saturday. You watch him; he'll have a star game on Saturday. He'll get a hat trick.
Well, this is it. I mean, you mentioned, I think last time we played you, when you beat us 2-0, you played a striker at centre half or something, and you came on our show and you're giving it all the, oh yeah, we've got loads of injuries, and still turned us over. So I'm not buying anything you say, Clive.
Well, no, but I don't care. I don't care whether you buy it or not. The fact is, we are playing strikers at fullback when we're doing it again this season through absolute necessity. And they work hard and they do what they can. And I'll take my hat off to them. But they are square pegs in round holes. And sooner or later, as we've stepped up a division, you don't get away with it. And we didn't get away with it on Saturday. And I just think that's the difference between League Two and League One. They're very minute differences, but that's one of them. You don't get away with being the way we were. And last season, we hardly conceded. We didn't concede 4 goals at any one point last season. And the 4 goals that were banged in on Saturday were embarrassing. But, you know, it's one game and there's plenty more to lose and win.
Absolutely.
I don't think we're going to do much on Saturday. I have to say, if you've got any money that you don't know what to do with, stick it on a win for Stockport County.
What about Lee Gregory, Stephen Quinn, and Louis Reed? Because they've done quite well for you, haven't they, in the first 3 games?
Louis Reed worked his socks off. Louis Reed worked his socks off this week. Unfortunately, he's not got enough support with him, and that you know that he can do no more than he's done. He's not a particularly penetrative midfield player, and that's what we need, someone with that insightfulness. We have Gregory, who can, you know, he's a fox in the box. He knows how to score, but he wasn't getting any service. Who else did you mention? Oh yeah, Quinn. Well, yeah. You've got to remember, Quinn's been brought out of retirement now for the last 5 years, and he's a is a phenomenon. And of course, his nephew is now playing for us. So we've got Quinn and Uncle Quinn. And we got him from Celtic. He's a bit raw. So he hasn't started games yet, but he comes on and he busies himself. I think he's one for the future. But it's tomorrow, it's Saturday. I'm more worried about, not the future.
I've just noticed you signed Will Evans from Newport.
Yes, that was a really good. That's a really, really good acquisition, in my opinion, because the lad
he started
works.
the season well.
Yes,
he works.
He works every minute of the game, and that's why Clough likes him, because Clough likes players who work. And Will Evans, he does. He's a worker. And if you spoke to any of the Newport fans, they used to say that bloke never stopped trying all through the game, and he scored goals in a bad side, and that's all you can ask. Having said that, DKD, Keeler Dunn, he scored goals in a bad side when he was just down the road from you at Oldham.
Oldham, yeah.
So if everything clicks and we get a bit of luck on the injury front, we'll give a good account of ourselves this year. And I think we're mid-table fodder. But if things don't click and we don't conquer the injury problem, it's going to be a struggle. Hey, it's not like we haven't had it before, is it? I mean, if we're geared up for anything, it's for struggling.
It's a struggle.
One thing I like about your club, apart from your song about the boys in the blue, is that, like us, you've had your term in the pit of misery.
Oh yeah.
In fact, you've been in the basement of the pit of misery.
Yeah.
And you had to work to get back to where you are. And I actually hold my hat up to you and Wrexham grudgingly for how much progress has been made. We've been much more sluggish in our promotion because it's taken us 21 years to get back into League One. And I have to keep reminding people, this is the third division we're talking about. It's not League One. It's it really still is one of the lowest teams, one of the lower divisions. But having said that, and I'm being serious now, I think the quality of players in League One this year is the best I've ever seen.
Yeah, and you're right. I mean, some of the crazy money they're going for as well. I think Birmingham splashed out, haven't they, massively on their squad?
I think the phrase being used at Birmingham is "it's shit or bust."
Yeah.
And I don't know where they're getting the money from, but obviously they've blown millions on players, and by all accounts they have 14 buses when they go to away games. They've got so many players, you can't possibly play them all. And I don't know how the financial fair play rules apply in these situations. I mean, we're restricted our squad size, and we've had to reserve some of our squad placement for longer term injuries because we want them to come and play when they're fit, and it does make it very tight. Now I don't know how they accommodate 40 odd players. I really don't.
I don't know. I remember they're doing it didn't they do it in the 90s under Barry Fry? Wasn't when they signed Kevin Francis, wasn't he like their 7th striker that they'd signed or something?
Yeah, something like that.
Just hoovering stuff up. That's all they're doing.
Yeah.
And I mean, I remember a few years ago, we played a couple of weeks down at Wickham, and I remember Wickham coming to play at Field Mill, and they had a goalkeeper who was really very, very good. And I was talking to one of their fans, and I said, "This is a great goalkeeper. Where did you find him?" He said, "Well, we can't claim that we've grown him. He's on loan from Chelsea, and he was a great goalkeeper. But he was on. This is 7 years ago now. He was on 13 grand a week when his teammates had been on 1 and 2 grand a week, and at that time Chelsea had 62 players out on loan.
Yeah."
Jesus.
These Premiership clubs, they have loan managers. They have managers on the books, and their only job is to keep an eye on loan players as they've been loaned out.
Yeah.
We had one from Leicester last year, Brunt. He's now playing at Wrexham. And he was great for us. A young player, a lot to learn, made a few mistakes, but he was really good, and you can see where he's going to go. And we made a bid for him this year, but we were beat by the dollar merchants. And he had a manager looking after him on behalf of Leicester City, and I said to him one day, I said, "How many other players out on loan does he look after?" And he says, "It's only me." They got one player out on loan and then a full-time manager keeping an eye on him.
That's bonkers.
The world's bonkers.
That is bonkers, that, isn't it?
Yeah. Especially with all the technology in today's game, you could just get the reports and things.
Yeah, I know.
Good stuff.
The other thing that bothers me, I'm gonna bother you now with another grump. I watch, even at our level, I watch the dugouts, and there's blokes in the dugouts. They're not looking at the chuffing game. They're looking at a laptop throughout the game. They're looking at a monitor. Get rid of the bloody monitors. Look at your players. Chuff them.
It's performance analysis. Have you not heard of that department?
Yeah,
Must have heard of that one.
And it's like, on mainstream media when you watch the TV, they're giving you lots and lots of stats, which are completely useless. How many goals have we scored? That's the only stat.
Yeah, but
yeah, whether you've had 48 unfulfilled sideways passes, it doesn't matter to me.
Same could be said about podcasts though, and fan media. Back in my day, it was the club call, and that was all. That was all you had, or the football pink. Now we've got
podcasts are all bollocks. We are just indulging in bollockry.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, we are.
And we do it for selfish reasons. We like doing it.
We like talk about football, don't we?
That. We don't do it for anybody else. It's for us. If anybody's wanting to tune in and watch us doing it, that's fine. I love it. We don't get the numbers you guys get. We are a bit less professional perhaps than you guys, but we do enjoy doing it.
That's the first time we've ever been called that.
Yeah, so haven't you got a full studio set up, and he's got loads of buttons and stuff, your man, hasn't he? Is he not?
A spare bedroom, I think it's called.
There we go. Fair enough.
I mean, we tend to stream most of it from our own PCs because it's logistically best thing to do. We have tried doing it in one room, but it just gets very sweaty. So, and these things not very good for sweaty.
No.
So, but we do it. We enjoy doing it. We try and be a bit perverse. We try and look at the daftest side of what we do, and we have little games like what's in Clive's bucket, and people have to work out what's in the bucket. The daft things we quiz ourselves. Sometimes it's a bit boring, but we do it. And we like to do a bit of a review of the game. We like to talk about individual players. We like to talk about the games coming up, and we do forecasts. But it's about having. It's like 4 or 5 blokes in the bar. That's the way a podcast should be.
That's what we're going for. Yeah, that's what we're going. We're remote now, but we started off in the pub, basically, round a table with a pint.
And we need to work harder at getting a female on as well, because it's too male as it stands.
Yes. It is a problem. We have got the podcast title, by the way, Clive. So thanks for that. The podcast title is going to be "Indulging in Bollockry." So
you stole my saying last time I came on. I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, I think we did.
It fascinated you.
Final question, because we'll let you go because we've got plenty to get through.
I need to go back to my own podcast
to talk about.
I've broke out of my podcast. Come on, you.
I know you have. So we'll let you get.
From what I understand from Craig, there's not been any fee agreed.
No.
Yeah, it was. He put it on. I think it was a bag of jelly babies or something.
No. My standard fee is 2 curly whirlies.
2 curly whirlies.
You see, that's another thing. In my day, curly whirlies were so big it took 2 of you to carry one. And now look at them. You can clean your ear out with one. Go on, carry on. Don't let me interrupt you.
Clive, score prediction for Saturday.
You're going to win 3-1. You lads are going to win 3-1.
3-1. Okay.
And I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah, well, it's you know it's going to happen. You know it's not going to happen. We're going to get peppered, aren't we?
No, you'll lose sooner or later. I just don't feel it in our. It's our responsibility to do it to you this time. I think we did it last year. That's enough.
Yeah.
Man, we didn't beat you at home, did we? We drew at home. Am I right in thinking, or did we win
you beat us?
No,
the double over you. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I was there.
He did the double.
Yeah.
You were the only team.
I thought the win at your ground in many ways was more impressive because it was against the run of play and it was a bit of a snatch and grab. I thought, and sometimes you just got to do that, haven't you?
Yeah, you have. I didn't like the way your players celebrated that. It was as if it was a 6-pointer, but it was as if you'd sort of got the edge on the title at that point. But I did like the way that Clough. Not celebrated, but I liked his demeanour in that victory. He was very pragmatic.
He's a well-rounded, seasoned bloke, is Clough. Sometimes he calls his own players out, and I don't like that. But apart from that, you can't knock him. Oh, by the way, the lunge at your goalkeeper in that game, which was quite rightly called out as being
Yeah, but
unnecessary.
stuff, wasn't it? Yeah. Remember that? Yeah.
But since that day, that player hasn't played.
Oh, right.
He injured himself far more than he did your goalkeeper. So
I remember that.
some
Yeah,
justice
yeah,
in
I
that.
remember that.
He chased the ball down, didn't he?
Yeah, but the
That's
thing
what-
is, he's like a new whippet. He chases everything. He only stops when he hits things, and that's all that happened. He hit your keeper. Sometimes it's a barrier, or a goalpost, or one of his own players. And every time he hurts himself, breaks something, pulls something out of a joint. He's like he's just like a very cheap doll. His arms come out, and things like that. Anyway, let's move on. I wish you luck on Saturday. I hope I'm wrong with the forecast, but I do expect you to give us a game and probably take it off us. And it'll be a full house. I guess you've sold all your tickets, have you?
Yes.
Yeah.
1800, is it?
I think it's 1700 for the
1688.
It's around. That's about right. Yeah. I mean, again, I have to say that for a small ground, that's a fairly generous allocation. And sometimes last year we had like 42 Crawley fans there or whatever. We were able to carve it up a little bit in those days, but we don't have the segregation in place to do it properly. So you end up with you pile loads of stewards up as a wall and hope they don't climb over them. But we have to be. When the ground was designed, it was designed badly, and the previous owner drew money for 4 stands from the Football Foundation and built 3, and then converted the 4th one into cash, which went in his pocket, and he disappeared. So that's why we have a 3-sided ground, by the way.
Okay.
And so it's taken a long time to start to approach a change to that, and it'll still look odd because there's very, very little room on that side of the ground. Because when they had the chance, they didn't build the ground further over. It's just crazy. Anyway, I sound like a moaning old fart, don't I? I'm not really.
No,
I'm really enjoying being an old git.
It's called observations.
Yeah, and the other thing I have to say, I get to a lot of away games, and so far I've not found a better pie than at Stockport.
Oh,
there you go.
It might have been a good day. I don't know, but
I think we do.
No,
they are raved about, aren't they? Yeah, they are. They're going footy scoring quite a lot and stuff. Yeah.
Went to Barnsley first game of the season, and they that's a good ground. If you've been to Barnsley's ground, it's a lovely ground.
Yeah.
It's still got an old-fashioned stand, but they've got 3 really big modern stands as well, and generous accommodation for away fans. I mean, there's about 4,000 seats. We had 3,300 there, so it was a really good atmosphere. And their concessions, their food kiosks, they're reasonably good, but their food was so expensive. I thought I'd gone to Chelsea by mistake. It was. How can someone charge you £4 for a tea bag and some hot water?
Oof. And I bet it was shite as well. Yeah.
Well, to be fair, it was Yorkshire tea, and people do rave on about Yorkshire tea.
Yeah.
But it just seems to me that when you've got a captive audience, you can either behave responsibly and fairly, or you can say, "I'm going to milk these bastards," and that's what they do.
Yeah.
And it's every club's the same. I don't know whether you guys have got new kits this year. Have you got?
Yeah. 3 new kits. Oh yeah.
You see, it wasn't that long ago before we joined the filthy band of Castor clients. We would change our first team and our home colours and away colours in alternate years. So you'd have one new purchase each year, and that works very, very, very well. And it doesn't rob too much money out of the people's pockets. Since Castor have been in our involvee, our club shop's gone to pot. There's nothing in it. It's just an empty box, and because they want everything online, and they've changed. We have had 3 new kits in the 2 seasons involved, last year and this year. 3 new kits. Then throw in goalkeepers' kits, and then throw in the stupidity of lots of parents, and it's costing people a fortune, absolute fortune. And what are they? They're just pieces of bloody nylon knocked together somewhere in the third world, which I can't imagine they cost more than £5 to make. And our club last year charged £45. It's £55 this year for one of these. The only thing I would say is if I was at Aston Villa with Castor or Newcastle, they're over £100 there. And that's simply because they can get away with it.
Yeah. Supply and demand, innit? As long as people will buy it, they've got you hooked.
Anyway, on the subject of supply and demand, I demand you let me go.
Right. Absolutely. Yes. Right. Yes, for coming on, Clive. Hopefully see you later in the season.
Yeah. And
thanks, Clive.
I'll leave the gate open for the delivery of aforementioned confection.
Okay, yes, absolutely. We'll get some sent down. Cheers, mate.
Cheers.
See you later. Bye.
Cheers.
Flicked on by Armstrong. Oh, it's an own goal. An astonishing one as well by Dowie. Yeah, that's incredible.
There we go. That was Clive. Always good value. Just took up 40 minutes of the show, but there you go. That's what you're dealing with for some curly whirlies. Let's just quickly do the away day guide. So this is Football Ground Guide. We are the partner for Stockport County. So if you go into footballgroundguide.com, where the editor is County fan Chloe Digby, you'll see our name under Stockport County. I'm going to put the link into the title, into the chat and things for it. But as Clive said, Field Mill, 9,186 is its all-seater stadium. I think it's 3 sides, as he said. So just for some pubs near the ground, you've got the Talbot pub. I'm telling you, Dave, because you're going. You've got the Midland Hotel, Sir John Cockle pub, and the Courthouse. And I'd noticed when we did this for Blackpool, now clearly Blackpool's got a lot of pubs. There were lots that weren't mentioned, but I'm pretty sure Mansfield will be slightly different because it doesn't have the pull of Blackpool. So there you go. Don't think we've got a good record against Mansfield, have we? I mean, I've been there a couple of times and we've lost both times. So
yeah, we have they won the last 2 seasons? They've beat us 3 times and drew once, I think, haven't they? They drew at our place.
We drew 1 all at home.
Season. Yeah.
They
beat us 3-2. Was it 3-2 at their place? Or no, 2-1 the first season, wasn't it? Because Sar scored.
Sar scored a worldie, didn't he?
And then within 90 seconds, we were 2-1 down.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And then, I think it was 3-2 at their place last year, wasn't it? And 2-1 at ours. So, we've not got a good record against Mansfield.
No, it'd be nice to put that one to bed, I think. And Si Lomas, always full of stats, is Si. You're right, Si. 196-97 in the FA Cup. And was that foggy? Didn't actually see us win anyway. Yeah. Did we beat them? We beat them in the League Cup, didn't we? Was it 6-3 on aggregate? It was a ridiculous match in the second. Or was it 6-3 on the second match? And it was 7-4 something. I can't remember. Someone will come someone will come into the comments, I'm sure. Okay, let's move on. Let's talk about Bristol Rovers on Saturday. So we have got our Courtyard Club call. Give that a listen if you've not already done that. We're going to talk about Bristol Rovers, then we'll move on to Norwood, and I think we've got to talk about Norwood. But Bristol Rovers, Dave, what did you make of it?
First 15 minutes, I sort of sat there and thought, oh dear, we might be in a bit of trouble here. They come out like an house on fire. Completely different than the last 2 games that we've played. And then slowly but surely we just started settling down. And I think once we got the goal, it was just we just took over from there. It was, Norwood kept getting hold of the ball and doing his pingers over to Febs when he came on, and he just floats across the pitch, doesn't he? It doesn't look like anything's too much effort for him either. So yeah. I thought first 15 minutes was a bit iffy, but then after that, as soon as we sort of, settled down, we just took over.
Yep. Yeah, it was. I think you or Jimmy mentioned it on the Courtyard Club call about Norwood. I know we'll go on to him, but it's just. I think the Barry goal was absolutely superb, but I just think, and I think maybe their defender should have gone through Barry because it bounced, didn't it? It bounced, and I think he should have just gone and just because it bounced quite high, didn't it?
Yeah, it was from his header, so he headed it up. It bounced, then it went up to its arc. I'm going to say, and then come down again, and Barry hit it. Yeah, we were saying that
he had time to get across,
go through.
I mean, again, not taking anything away from the strike. His technique was absolutely superb. The keeper had no chance with that. It was superb, and I think you're right. We didn't look back from there. I think we looked very, very comfortable, and I think we could have turned it up again, gone up another gear, 2 gears, and yeah, as I said, I think it was you or Jimmy mentioned on the Courtyard Club call about Norwood was that it'd be sort of hanging around in the left back area. He'd ping a ball somewhere, and then suddenly you'd see him like supporting Fevre on the right wing, and you'd like, how's he got there? I've not seen him move. He's just, he was just like, he just appeared, didn't he? He just appeared to receive the ball, and again, slightly different to Bate. But I still think, you can see the levels that he's played at, the vision that he's got, and he can ping the ball.
I think he's kind of like a bit like Powell as well, really, where they sort of only run when they really need to.
Yeah,
they sort of just jog here, there, and everywhere, and then all of a sudden you'll just see them and they'll do a sprint because they need to. But other than that, they just sort of float about.
Yeah, I'll say it again. It's called the slow play paradox. You don't need. It looks like they're going slow. It looks like they're not bothered, but it's not. They just know where to be and how to be. But Norwood loves a diag, doesn't he? Jesus, how many did he attempt? I mean, I think a couple got cut out, but the amount that landed were just superb.
And Fev's first touch as well.
Fev's first touch each time was superb. It was never. He'd either drop it on the floor right in front of him if he needed, or he would touch it so that he was going forward with it. But you could see he was looking to see where the defender was and see what the defender was doing to see what touch he needed to do before that ball got to him. I thought that was really, really impressive.
Question then for you lads. February, does he start the next match? If he does, who comes out? Because every single player so far, okay, we've won 3 out of 3, so it stands to reason, have played really well and probably don't deserve to be dropped. But Fevrier's coming on and being so impactful. Does he deserve to start?
I think if obviously we went to quite a few of the pre-season friendlies, and the shape that we're playing now, we're in the league, is kind of different in essence to what we were playing pre-season, because Fevs was playing that right wing back, and when we didn't have the ball and we were out of possession, he dropped in and made it a back five.
Yeah,
and then obviously Diamond was playing wide left. And now that we've got Barry back and he's playing there, he's switched, obviously, Diamond over to the right. So realistically, it's like the only person you can see him taking his place would be Diamond. But can you really drop him? It's another one of them, isn't it? You can't really drop him.
Unless, I mean, Phil Lloyd's made a good point because Mingy did pick up a knock. Unless the door opens.
Oh, well, yeah.
That could be.
I mean, that would be good, wouldn't it? Having Fevrier and Diamond playing down the right.
I wouldn't like to be the left.
That's what I mean. You know what I mean? It's because I think it's. But we do seem to have been playing a back four, but I think more so when we played a back four last season. I think you tended to find that, like when we had Noyle or Southam Hales, you'd see them bomb forward and you'd see Horsfall move into that right back back area.
Back.
You'd see Pye come into the centre and then Torre, left centre back. So I think we've got the dynamic that we can still play as a back four almost, but Fevs is more of a right wing back. And Iman, I think the only thing that's missing at the minute from Diamond is a goal.
Yeah.
I think that's the only thing that he's just shy of, isn't it?
That's coming, that.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. He's getting positions.
That's defo coming, that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he had a good shot across the goal, didn't he, in the first half, which he beat the keeper, but one of their players got back, didn't he, and cleared it off the line. So he's getting sighters, so I don't think it'll be long before that happens.
Yeah. Interesting bit of factoid for you for that shot. And this is the sort of levels of stats you get on the Courtyard Club call. If you've not listened to it already, we do this every week. But Louis Barry's goal was 0.05 XG. The rebound that Wootton got from the Diamond shot, because it cleared off the line, it landed with Wootton, that was something like 0.55 XG. So what that says is that Wootton was more likely to score in the position he was in than Barry was in the position he was in. I find it
Really good.
fascinating. That's what I like. I like stuff like that. Not for everybody, but you know.
I think that what worked really well, I think, for corners and set pieces was Horse dropping off onto that back post. He seemed to be getting quite a few of them coming, heading them back across. I know we want him in the middle and scoring goals, but I think that's certainly something that's changed for me from set pieces. He seems to be the one that's coming round on the back post to head it back into the 6-yard box. And he won that quite a few. Obviously, we've seen it for Wharton. I don't think he'll score an easier goal, will he, Wharton?
No.
He was literally on the line, couldn't he? I mean, if he'd have missed that, but he's looked a different player. Collar's looked a different player, and we've mentioned it before. Camps looks an absolute superb. You wouldn't have thought that Camps would be undroppable.
I think he's kind of had to, hasn't he? With everybody that was brought in, if you want to play now, you've got to play well. If you're not, somebody's coming in that's going to do your job. And as a professional footballer, you always want to play.
Yeah, absolutely. So just sticking with the Camps thing, then now we mentioned it's Silomas again. I don't think this is controversial. I've read it. He says he thinks Camps and the Bate dynamic will give us more of attacking force and either can bomb forward. Nor would be great to see out games and look after the ball and give control versus the better teams. I can't disagree with that at all because Norwood's 33, isn't he? So maybe he played out of necessity on Saturday because Bate got injured. Say necessity, yeah. I mean, probably necessity. In other games, especially at tricky away grounds, if we do find ourselves in a good position, either winning or drawing, he's a great player to come on for the last half an hour and just settle it all down and go, right, I've been here before in the Premier League. Let's just calm all the heads kind of thing.
So so with our injury crisis that we've got, we have our starting 11, and then we bring Norwood, Tanto, and Fevs on just to wrap up a game.
Yeah, just bullying, innit? It's just bullying. That's what it is.
That's just
filthy.
Filth, yeah. Just
Filthy.
Absolute filth. And then you still got the likes of, like we said, Mellon. Hopefully he's back soon. So I think, we can see him playing. Fiorini, him, Connolly. So there's still, as you say, I'm so glad that I'm not Dave Challoner, because there is literally, we've got 2 players that can play in every single position of any formation. That's the way it. That's the way.
Great problem to have, though. Isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely great problem. And I do like the way that we have changed more to a 4-2-3-1 for this season. I think it gives us a better dynamic and more threat going forward. Yeah, but Bailey's done decent when he's come on, hasn't he? Apart from against Blackburn, but that game didn't really happen, did it?
No, we can just like cut that. Yeah, we have got the updated squad list as well. We will roll that out every now and again, but not every week. But yeah, interesting one. Just final one on Blackburn on Bristol Rovers. Sorry. Yeah, Bate being injured late. I'll say Bate being injured late, announced late. Did you get the sense from the pre-match interview, or did you find out when the team's got announced?
I seen a few people saying that we've got somebody else injured from what Dave said, but I didn't get onto it, and I certainly didn't think that it was Bate. But it sounds as if Bate had a niggle that was just playing, so maybe that was. I mean, I don't think that was the reason. We're not going to sign Norwood on a 3-year contract just because Bate's injured for a game, are we?
No.
Why not?
No.
Well, yeah, that's true, yeah.
No, but it's probably it's a good position to be in. It's a bit of a luxury that you don't have to risk Bate. You can put Norwood in. He's ready to go, and he'll be like, "Yeah, of course, I'll sit in that that anchor role."
Yeah, that again to say that little interview that he gave that I'd seen for BBC Radio Manchester is, what a player Barry is, and I'm going to push him, and he's going to be sick to death of me from shouting at him and speaking. So I think even if he's not playing, if he's in the squad, I can see Norwood being stood up and shouting at Barry. I don't think he'll need Challoner or Clint having a go at him, because I think Norwood will be there.
Yeah. As long as he doesn't do a Ronaldo and John Terry and start taking over shouting orders at the side, that kind of thing, undermining the manager.
Would you surprised that he got a 3-year contract?
Me personally, yes and no. I think it was a case of, we've got an opportunity to get him. Well, I want a 3-year contract, and they've sort of looked at it and gone, yeah, go on then, because he's that good. I mean, he's a Premier League quality player. Let's face it. So you're not gonna; those don't come around that often to get.
He's consistent as well, isn't he? He's not missed many games. He's not.
Yeah.
That's the thing why I thought, as you said, 33 years old, compared to what we've signed so far this season, giving him a 3-year contract, I thought that's a bit surprising. But then when you look at his stats and you look at how many games a season he's played and his championship promotions that he's earned, I was like, yeah, maybe that, it warrants it. He can still be in that team at 36.
Yeah. Yeah, and you've got to think as well, like signing on fees and contracts and all that kind of thing. It probably thins out weekly or monthly wage or whatever they do it on. I think it's probably weekly, and it probably Football Manager's right in that respect. It probably thins out that a bit. So, yeah, I quite like it. And some people have said, well, why didn't we give Sars a 2-year deal then, or Paddy a 2-year deal? And I'm thinking, this is a Premier League player.
This is a Premier League player.
They've gone back into League Two, haven't they? So, Dave, what do you think? Do you think is it reckless, or are you quite happy?
No, I honestly think, like what Si said there, I'd actually said this to Ellis the other day, that I think what they were done is his agent has gone, right, well, if you offer him a 2-year deal, it's going to be worth that amount of money. But if you give him a 3-year deal, it's going to be that amount of money. And obviously, being a bit cheaper for a 3-year deal and knowing how good he actually is, why not give it him?
Yeah,
so I think that's exactly what has happened. Not that I've got any insider information or anything, but there you go.
Yeah, well, he's been in the building. He's been on the grass for the last 4 or 5 weeks. So
talking about being in the building and back on the grass, Worsley from Hatters Hangout, sorry mate, Hatters Hangout fame. Do we have an update on Powell at all? I mean, I don't. I just hear what everybody else hears. Really, anybody else have any inside information? Apparently, he's back in training.
Yeah, apparently he's back in training. So yeah, I did see there was somebody had put on Twitter that apparently he was going out of the club because he'd smacked Camps in a training session. Camps had done a sliding tackle, gone through him, and Powell had got up and slapped him. And Liam Richardson actually replied to the thread and just went, "That's bullshit."
Yeah, that was from his personal account as well, wasn't it?
That was from his personal account, not the Stockport County account. But that was.
It reminds me of the most recent time of this kind of things happened. When was it? There was a rumor that somebody was sat next to Ethan Pye's dad in the Cheadle end, and they said there was WhatsApp messages going around.
Yeah, it was in the main stand. Yeah, that
and
was.
There was WhatsApp going around that they had an argument and had a fall. It's like, come on. I don't.
Yeah, and I like that. I like that rumor that was it. TG9 or so, whoever it was, that Alafi's going to Charlton for 750 grand.
Yeah.
Because he wants to move back. He wants to move back home. He wants to move back to London.
Down to London. Yeah. I remember having a bit of a conversation with one of those accounts, and they said when I think we'd signed, I can't remember, we signed one of our signings, and he messaged me and went, "See, got it right, and you didn't believe me." And I replied and went, "A broken clock's right twice a day, mate. Come on." If you put enough out there, you're going to get something right.
I think that account just has like he has a bingo machine where it's just like the 92 clubs. Right, there's the first one. So such and such. Yeah, there's the second one, and then he just it's got squad numbers, and he just pulls the squad number out.
Yeah, it's like that thing in it that with your I don't know, your pimp name is the year you were born and then the month you were born and whatever it is, that kind of thing. That's all he's doing. Anyway, Aladis says, don't know how Powell gets back into this team. He's absolutely right, or she's absolutely right. Yeah. I mean, once he's fit, I mean, it's again nice problem to have, but bloody hell, it's some problem, isn't it?
It is, as you say. I think the only going back to you can't really drop anybody that's in that starting 11 at the minute. And the only person that I could see him replacing would be Camps, but Camps is playing out of his skin, and he's looking really good. He's looking really good next to Bate, and he looked really good again next to Powell, next to Norwood. Sorry, So, as you say, you can't. I think did you say this on the club call where it's basically if somebody. Maybe like we were talking about Diamond. If Diamond doesn't score in the next 4 or 5 games, then he gets taken out and Fevs comes in and starts the game. If Camps has 2 or 3 bad games, then he goes out and somebody else comes in. That's the only way I can see us changing it around.
It's probably who blinks first.
Yeah,
form. Yeah, who blinks first, that kind of thing. Definitely. Yeah, I can see that again, but you've got to think as well. There's loads of games to go. You've got the Bristol Street Motors, so everyone will get chances, won't they? And we're going to have to protect Barry, aren't we? As well,
we've got a few. We've got a few times where we're playing like 2 away games, aren't we, in succession, or 2 home games and stuff. So I think again, you start looking at that whether he'll start rotating.
Well, we can now.
Exactly. Yeah. As you say, there's no. You can't see any, as we've just said, Camps is getting dropped and Powell's coming in. Diamond's getting dropped. Fevs is coming in.
Yeah. We've got replace quality with quality now.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Class.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Before we can move on to getting reses, because time is getting on, just the one that I did pick up on rumour, but I don't know if it's a reputable source or not, that our coach might be going to Real Madrid. Andy Mangan. Did you see that doing the rounds?
No, I didn't see that one.
Yeah, so listen to this for a tenuous link, if that is even is that the right phrase? Anyway,
not getting
that's probably where it's going to come from. That's where they got it from. No, he did his coaching courses with Ancelotti's son. Apparently, got on really well, and there's rumours that he might be going over to the coaching staff at Real Madrid working under Ancelotti. I think I've got that right. Someone's going to correct me if I'm wrong there. But apparently, yes, that is a thing.
Some job offer that though, wouldn't it? Hey?
Yeah, won't be the first time, will it?
You wouldn't turn it down.
No,
not
you wouldn't begrudge him either, would you?
No, absolutely not.
No, you're definitely not. It's like
stay at home in this weather. Or go to Madrid.
Or move to Madrid.
and work with one of the best managers in the world.
With the best players. In the biggest club. Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
I mean, he's only just come from Bristol Rovers himself, hasn't he? To us, I think.
Fair play to him.
So yeah.
But I think as well as a club that we won't, as you say, won't begrudge or won't stop people like that.
No.
As I said, I bumped into James Jennings at the Blossoms gig on Sunday. Having a good chat with him. And I mean, he does listen to the podcast, so I think we should definitely get him on, because the position that he's got, the club, said with open arms, no, this is for you. You should be doing this. So he's now doing sort of like a player liaison officer, the job that he had for us, but he's doing it for the PFA.
Yeah.
And he mentioned I don't want to say what unless he wants to come on and talk about it. But it was really, really good. Really, really good talking to him. Absolutely superb bloke. And he went with every goodwill from the club, because he's bettering himself. So it was really good to see him. Really good to speak to him.
Yeah, fair dues. Talking to guests, obviously, if you are a member of our Patreon, you will have seen, or you should have seen, the Matty Warburton interview by now. It's on Patreon and on our exclusive feed on Spotify and iTunes for paying members. We're talking to Will Collar tomorrow. That will be on Patreon as soon as we've recorded it and we've clipped it and things like that, and we'll get that out to you as soon as we can. And I'm pretty sure there will be a question about his haircut. I think it's going to come up. It's going to come up. Are you a fan, Dave? Would you go for the mullet, or would you stay as you are?
We don't really have much choice to be fair.
Do you mean he's sporting a mullet tonight?
Yeah.
Can you not tell?
Upside down.
Nice one. Let's get in reses. Have you got anything?
I've not.
It's a tough one.
I kind of had.
Come on then.
Steve Evans, man.
Oh yeah.
that guy. What? Just I don't even need to say any more than his name, really, do I? So he just boils my piss, that man. He really does. It's like he's just like such a spoilt brat. And then he just like, no, I'm not shaking your hand, and then starts gobbing off at people. And it infuriated me when he started doing the fist bump thing, the other year and stuff.
Yes.
And that really wound me up. And now he's moved, like, and he's just go away, man. He drives me bonkers, that man.
Yeah,
he's not a good loser, is he?
No, absolutely not. No. Yeah, and I think Rotherham, Rotherham are getting a bit pissed off with him now as well already, aren't they? 3 games in. I think someone said, I read today, that he literally sat on the bench in the dugout last night when they got beat, and he didn't move, he didn't do anything, and then as soon as the final whistle blew, he just got up and walked down the tunnel.
Yeah,
it's like
that's not what you want from a new manager, is it?
It's like, mate, what are you trying to do?
Yeah.
But on the same token, though, I kind of quite like these characters in the game. I don't think we should lose that. I want them to keep on coming in, and being like a conveyor belt, not like the pantomime villain. Remember, it was Robbie Savage at one point, wasn't it? And there's loads you could name. For me, it's Dean Lewington, but that's just me personally. But yeah, I quite like these pantomime villains. Luke Ashenden, you're right, Luke. Rotherham fans starting cinema already. Paul Warne will end up there again. Isn't he at Derby, or have I missed a step here? Paul Warne. I thought he was at Derby, and then I don't know. Yeah, maybe he'll get sacked from Derby for not having a. Yeah, it seems to be a conveyor belt, doesn't he? Steve Evans, somebody, is this about his 3rd or 4th time at Rotherham? Is it?
No, I think it's only his 2nd, isn't it?
Gone back,
is it?
Yeah.
I think it's only his 2nd. I'm sure I have seen that somewhere, that it's only his 2nd stint. He did well from the first time, didn't he? He got him promoted and stuff.
Yeah,
So
they've been a bit of a yo-yo club, haven't they?
Yeah.
Phil Lloyd's just giving me some guardrails here. There's having character, and then there's being a bellend. Yes, okay, fair dues.
Yeah, he's just put the side rails up for your 10-pin bowling, hasn't he?
He has, yeah. Cheers, mate. Yeah, I mean, I don't think I've got a getting reses this week. I'm completely unprepared for that. I need to do the video as well. That's how unprepared I am for this getting reses.
No, sorry, I can't think of any. I've not even got a waggy rant.
Have you not?
I'm all happy.
Oh, that's good. Well, because it's 3 out of 3.
3 out of 3. World's rosy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Keep me glasses on. Keep me tinted glasses on.
Yeah,
I'm sure next week Mansfield will be the ones to get in the reses.
Yeah, well, it's coming, isn't it? It's coming, isn't it? They're probably gonna turn us over. So, Dave, you're going to the match, aren't you, on Saturday?
I am. Yes, I will be there. Me and my boy for a change. Yes.
Are we going to get a pie review?
Yeah, we're getting a pie review.
He did do last year's, because we went and it absolutely pissed it down on the way there. And obviously, like Clive mentioned, you need decent toilets. They haven't got decent toilets. I was one of the first people to walk in, and the toilets were under about an inch of water. And I just walked in and went, we can't have done this already. And it turns out that the weather was that bad that it just literally flooded the toilets. And I was just like, thank God it's not piss I'm actually wading in, you know. But,
Was Mansfield the one where they delayed fans going in when it was absolutely torrential? Yeah,
it was horrendous. You had to go through about a foot of water as you come down this hill to get towards the ground, and there was literally about a good foot and a half of water as we're going down. It was horrendous. Yeah, but I shall be there again on Saturday.
Yeah, good stuff. I've got to get in the reses, actually. I've just thought of it. It's a bit of a harsh one, though. Our 50-50 agents not taking card, meaning I've got to get cash every time. I need what account you do 50-50.
Program sellers don't take it either, do they?
Yeah, we're all trying to be cashless, but the guys that outside
the ground is cashless, apart from if you want a program or a 50-50 ticket.
Yeah. Or some sweets probably from
it might have something to do with the licenses that you have to have for the little pay things, maybe. I don't know.
They'll probably take a cut, won't they? So
that's probably why it's
cash
not really worth it.
I get it. No, yeah. I'm probably just going to walk that one up to the reses and not throw it in. Just show it. I'm just going to show it the reses, that one.
Just place it on one of the fishing pegs.
Yeah, I was going to say, put it down on one of the fishing
under a big fishing umbrella.
Yeah, let it fish for a bit. See if it catches any of our reses.
Or the newts. See if they can move a few newts out of the way.
The newts probably take cashless.
Yeah. Forward thinking newts. Yeah. Right. I think we're done. Cheers for coming on, Dave. Really appreciate it. You will be back on at some point if that's all right. I think we'll
anytime, yeah.
Yeah, nice one, mate.
No problem.
Waggy, cheers, mate. As always.
Cheers, thank you.
Please, if you are watching on YouTube live now or on the replay, please do like the show. And if you haven't already, please do consider subscribing. We're nearly at 2,000 subscribers.
Wow.
It's not bad, is it? It's not bad at all. And remember, you get all this content ad-free, plus the special guest episodes, plus the giveaways, which we are going to do a giveaway before the end of the month. I should have done it tonight, actually. I forgot about that. It's hard work running a podcast, but it's a Champions bucket hat. So if you are a paying member and your name's not Simon Roden, because you've already won a prize, then you will be in the hat, so to speak, for the hat. So there we go. But yeah, you get all that ad-free and all that good stuff for £3 a month, or you can pay for a year, which you save, I don't know, 20% or something daft like that. So cheers, everybody, for watching, and we'll see you all either at the game on Saturday or whenever we're next to Edge of the Park, or even next Wednesday or on Monday for the your club call. Yeah?
Yep.
Yeah.
See you in a bit. Cheers, lads. See you in a bit.
Cheers.
Bye.
Thank you.
See you later. Bye.